All right, I'm like the mayor today because I look up at the clock, it says 10 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started with our ceremony today. Welcome everybody to this very exciting day as we cut the ribbon for the Martin Luther King Jr. mural that's attached here to our city administration building. My name is Robbie Houston. I am the director at Visit Enid, but I'm also a member of the PACE board, and it's been a very fun process to go through all of this to get it from beginning to where we are today. We had a few speed bumps along the way, but we got it done and made it happen. At this time, I would like to have any of the other PACE members that are here, please stand and be recognized. This group did a very good job, very thorough job in making sure that we got exactly what we wanted and what you, the community, wanted. One of the things that we did as we went through the process is we involved the Martin Luther King Jr. Commission from here in Enid. So if those members are here, would you please stand and be recognized? We received very valuable input from the ladies that were there at the meetings, and we really do appreciate that. I want to also introduce our artists, Tox, Murillo, Terrall Prince. They had the vision and they brought it to life. So guys, stand up. All right, the first speaker this morning is our mayor, David Mason. So let's bring him up and welcome him, and he'll have a few words for us.
Well, Rob, thank you, and thank you for taking half of my notes. Thank you for being here this morning and to help celebrate and to dedicate this icon in our shared history. I too want to thank Christy Northcutt, president of the PACE board, and the entire PACE board that has put this together along with all the other murals around town. Being mayor, I get to talk to a lot of people that come into town, and during the Junior College World Series, I had multiple people to come up and talk about the murals around town. You know, not our restaurants, not this, not that. It was about those murals. So thank you for what you do. And more importantly, thanks for having a vision that this could be something that would make Enid better 10 years after it was started. Also want to thank our the MLK board. I know you just did, but I tell you what, don't tell these folks you can't do something. All right, because they will stay on it until it gets done. Thank you for pushing us. Thank you for continuing to move us in a direction that's fair to everyone. I also want to thank all of our city commissioners that are here. I know I saw Commissioner Patterson walk in. I started to say stand up, but you already are. No, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's because she did a very bad joke on me the other day in front of everyone. So, Commissioner Stallings, thank you. Commissioner Norwood, former Commissioner Janzen. Am I missing any one of the commissioners? But more importantly, I want you to thank these commissioners when you get a chance. If you go back several years, when we decided that we wanted a PACE board, we wanted public art, but you know what always comes up? How do you pay for that, right? Because it doesn't come free. Somebody had the bright idea that if we would just take a small portion of every building permit that was pulled in the city of Enid and put that into a pot of money, it would give them a budget that they could continue to do this work and that it would start perpetuating itself. And that's exactly what's happened. I don't know what's in those funds now, but it's substantial. And it allows us to go out instead of just putting up a piece of art when a local business owner wants that on the side of their building. We now are able to commission things. it takes us to a whole new level. So thank your commissioners for figuring out how to do this so that we don't have to take it out of our operations budget. I also want to thank Colonel Throckmorton and Chief McReynolds. Thank you guys so much for being here and being here on a Saturday. I tell you what, we always say, you know, we're so glad Vance, we're proud of Vance, all that stuff. You guys do more than that. You immerse yourself in our community. You're at every commission meeting. I go to a lot of functions. You're at every one of them. Or one of your team are. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. We appreciate all the men and women that serve and work at Vance. And then the stars of our program today, Tox and Terrall. Wow. I'm going to tell you a little secret. When y'all come before the commission, and I had looked at the renderings of what you were going to do, but I didn't know the size or the scale that was going to be. And thank goodness somebody else asked, how big is that going to be? Because I didn't know, right? I did not realize it was going to be the whole side of that right there. And then I'm also going to confess, I might have sat across the street a couple times during the process in Dr. Stott's office or in his parking lot and watched you for a while. For a non-creative person, it's just fascinating to watch that happen and then to see the end result. You know, one of the very cool things that artists get to do aside from being creative is they get to name their piece of art. You know, whether it's Vincent van Gogh, whenever he named Starry Nights, you know, a painting that we all know, or Claude Monet on water lilies. You know, Tox got to name this, and it becomes very personal. I've been told by artists, as you process through this, it just almost talks to you what it is that it's trying to say. And I'm happy to announce that the name of this piece of art is Deep in Thought. And I think when you look at it, you'll realize, I think you hit it spot on. Spot on. So I want to spend just a few minutes talking about why it was so important that we commissioned this piece of art in Enid, Oklahoma at this particular time, right? This past 12 months has been different than usual in Enid. I think that once in a generation, a voice emerges with a message that is so powerful that it compels action. This individual rises to the occasion, speaking out against injustices so severe that they must be brought to an end. And while many others have spoken these same truths before, their words have not brought about the needed change. It takes a special person. I believe a person that is chosen by God to be in the right place at the right time in history. Their words spoken with such compassion and absolute conviction that it resonates deeply within our hearts, inspiring us to strive to be a better people. This individual speaks words in a way that not only calls attention to the injustices, but also embraces our commonalities and shows us how much more we share than what divides us. I believe Dr. King was that person. You know, and if you look back, his message was actually very simple: fairness to all and equality for everyone. But he lit a fuse that ignited an issue that helped us all realize if society could push one group down and force them to be a second-class citizen, then society could do that to any one of us. Unfortunately, those same messages are as important today and as needed now as they were almost 60 years ago. Because when we let our guard down and we look the other way just for a split second, prejudice, injustice, and evil slips back into our nation into our community and into our hearts. I've had the privilege to be mayor of our community now for the last 15 months. And during that time, we were faced with a challenge that I never thought that we would see in this community. This challenge arose when an individual with a history of involvement in different hate groups and someone who actively recruited others to hate simply based on skin color, gender, and their religious beliefs was elected to an official position in this city. Unbelievably, that wasn't even the worst part. As word spread and the national media picked up the story, one hate-filled, misguided person tarnished the reputation of our entire community, painting us to be a community or a town that condoned racism, bigotry, and hatred. I received countless calls and emails from people all across the country, all the way from California to New York, condemning our city. One even declared if they ever passed through our town, they wouldn't ever stop to get gas. So why do I bring this up today? Of all days, why do I take time to do this? For several reasons. First of all, I believe that many in the media tried to define Enid as something that we were not. Despite not even knowing us, they tried to label us and to fit us into a narrative that was far from the truth. They tried to claim that because of the actions of a few individuals, that we all shared those misguided views, but we don't. Many believe that when hatred crept into our city government, that we would simply sit by and allow that to happen, but we didn't. Because we are more than the sum of a few. We are a community that is rich in kindness, rich in compassion, and rich in diversity. We stood up, we spoke out, we came together to prove that hatred has no place in our hearts, and it definitely has no place in our community. So as we dedicate this mural and we cut this ribbon today, I personally want this to be more than just another piece of public art. I want this mural to be a testament that's to who we truly are, a community that stands united. And when people from across the country travel through Enid America, I want this mural to stand as a beacon, showing them that we are a community that embraces everyone, that we are a city where every individual is valued and respected, regardless of their background, their belief, and especially because of their skin color. And when those with hate and bias and darkness in their hearts wonder if Enid is a place to spread and to spew their hatred, I want this mural to be a powerful reminder that screams, no, not in Enid. And thank you. In our community, we reject hatred. We reject division, but we choose love, unity, and acceptance. And when I drive down Owen K. Garrett with my grandsons, and they say, "Papa, why is that man's face painted on that building?" I want to proudly and boldly tell them it's because they live in a town that stands for something greater. A town where words like unity and acceptance still carry weight and still have meaning. I hope and I pray that because of individuals like Dr. King, who spoke up, and people in our community who continue to stand up, that we leave our kids, our grandkids, and future generations a place that is better today than when we found it yesterday. So to everyone who had a part, directly or indirectly, in creating this mural Dr. King called Deep in Thought, thank you. Your efforts are a reflection of the hearts and soul of our community, and I hope everyone here today is as is as proud as I am. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for being part of this journey.
Thank you, Mayor. You summed it up perfectly. It's beautiful. Thank you. Next up on our agenda today is Christy Northcutt. She is the president of the Public Arts Commission of Enid, our PACE board. Christy, come on up.
Good morning. It is a wonderful morning to be here together to celebrate this ribbon cutting. And just wanted to kind of bring back some things that Mayor Mason said and to thank the city for creating the Public Arts Commission and investing money into our account, because that started 10 years ago. And here we are today doing another ribbon cutting. And it's through the foresight of the city and the commissioners to put money aside for public art, and it makes today's ribbon cutting so special. So thank you to the city for those that were there when they made those big decisions 10 years ago, and we couldn't do it without them. So the PACE board, the Public Art Commission, we say PACE for short, but PACE began the artist selection, and that started probably about 7 months ago, because we're very thorough when we look at putting public art out in Enid. And we had numerous artists from all over the U.S. that submitted their ideas and their designs. And PACE then, we wanted to include the Martin Luther King Commission. And so we had 2 individuals that sat with us on every meeting and every review of designs. And I would like to say thank you to them, because it was Patty Stevenson and Ray Graves who sat with us and helped us make all the hard decisions of choosing which artist and which design was going to go on this city building. So thank you very much. It was a hard decision. We narrowed it down to 2 artist teams, and we had them come the first time, and we had them come a second time, and they just really, there was a team that met exactly what we were looking for, and that team, if you would stand up, is Tox Murillo, and then also Terrall as well, Terrall Prince. We kind of put them through the ringer a couple days, and we appreciate them answering all our questions and their follow through and their thought and their design. So thank you, gentlemen. And we are thrilled that they are our artists. And I have to tell you, it's Terrall's metal work that gives the stability and that 3D design to the art. And then it's Tox's painting that brings the images to life. So they did exactly what we asked them to. So thank you so much. And now our city's municipal building has this eye-catching imagery that reminds all of us of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream for all people. And as the president of PACE, I can tell you we will be continuing to work on other great projects for our community, and we're always thinking of ideas. If you have ideas and you see a building or you think of a public art standalone piece, please come to us. We meet one Wednesday of every month, and we are always welcoming to have visitors come. We had lots of visitors sitting in the room with us while we were making this decision. And I do want to turn it over to Ron Janzen. He is a PACE board member and a former mayor of Enid, but he's the one who saw this huge blank canvas on the outside of this building. And he looked at it and he said, people need to know that this is the Martin Luther King Jr. Municipal Complex. And what better way than to put him on our building? So that's how we ended up with the iconic imagery that everyone can connect to. So Ron, come on up.
I appreciate the promotion, Christy. Actually, I never was mayor. I was on the city commission for 12 years. But anyway, the mayor did a great job of describing, what the background is of our project. And as Christy said, I've been actively involved in Enid city government for 35 years, 12 years on the city council. And I drove up in front of this building for many, many nights, and I've looked at it, and something needed to be on this wall. Whoops. And in any case, I met with Derwin Norwood. Derwin and I talked about it. I thought since this is the Martin Luther King Municipal Complex, the logical portrait to be on the front of the building, the mural should be featuring Dr. Martin Luther King. And so I actually talked to him before I went to the city, to the Public Arts Commission. Back in September, I told the Public Arts Commission that I wanted to put a mural on the front of the City Hall, and they adopted it unanimously. There was no opposition to it. And since then, it's been unanimously adopted by the City Council. The project, like most city projects, took a little longer than we'd like for it to, but the results have been amazing. I think anybody that's been by here, that's looked at it, I knew it would be good because I've seen a lot of Tox's work. He's got a lot of work around town, but to me, this is the best thing he's ever done. And And Enid should really be proud of it. And I think people driving through Enid, that was another thing that's important to me, is to have this mural on a busy street to where everybody would have an opportunity to see it on a regular basis, because a lot of traffic out here, and when they come through Enid, they will probably remember that this is where they saw the Martin Luther King mural. There's several other people besides Derwin. Like I say, Derwin was a big part of this project, and he helped me regularly and attended a lot of PACE meetings, as I recall. But also Angela Rasmussen, who's the city liaison to the Public Arts Commission. There's no way we could pull off a project like that without her help and without the work that she does on a regular basis. She does all of our administrative work, make sure that the artists are contacted, that they get paid, and all of the other things that are important to doing projects like this. So I want to thank them, and like to say all the other people that were active in supporting this project, and certainly the city council members and the mayor, who, like I say, without their approval, this wouldn't have happened. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron and Christy. Next up, I would like to invite Lanita Norwood to come to the podium. She is a member of the Martin Luther King Commission. And again, she wasn't one of the two at the table, but she was in the crowd pretty much every meeting that we had, giving us valuable input. So, Lanita, come on up.
I am so excited for Enid today that we have come so far. And I know Scott was looking at me. I keep jotting things down as people were speaking. But we will continue to move forward together. As a part of Martin Luther King Jr.'s, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision and his dream, I feel that I'm a part of that dream. In 1969, when schools were integrated in Enid, Oklahoma, I went to Glenwood Elementary School. I was part of that integration, so I know how it feels when you're moving in a different direction. So we thank God for him. And I just wanted to read a couple of quotes. So proud of Enid again, because we are continuing to move forward. We've had some tough times, but we made it through. That's the biggest portion of it, is that we made it. We made it through the storms. We made it through the rain. We made it through together, not apart. And when I close out, I want us to kind of just stand together and sing one of the songs that he used sung in a lot of the marches, is "We Shall Overcome." Isn't that a blessing that we are here today and we have overcome opposition? Some of the quotes that I just want to read. Martin Luther King said, "Courage is the power of the mind to overcome fear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. The time is always right to do what is right." Thank you, Enid. "And our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Thank you again, Enid. "We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools." Thank you again, Enid. We moved forward. "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge." The mayor talked about that, and controversy. Thank you, Enid, for standing on the side of justice. "People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other." Thank you, Enid, Oklahoma. We know that Dr. Martin Luther King, he pushed and walked and suffered and sacrificed and even gave his life for the equality of civil rights, economic equality, financial equality. Died the day in April, I think about 68, trying to give the sanitation workers to help them with a livable wage. We're still moving forward with that as a nation. So that is very important, and as we move forward together, we're going to sing together, "We Shall Overcome." We're gonna say today. We're not even gonna go with the someday, we're gonna say today. Okay. "We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome today."
Thank you, Lanita. Goosebumps. That was great. Our Commissioner, Ward 2, Derwin Norwood, has been mentioned a few times here this morning as being a part of all of the decisions that the PACE committee made. And as Ron said, he was the first one that he reached out to about this. So I'd like to bring Derwin up and have him say a few words. So come on up.
We honor God today. We thank God for being here. It's because of Jesus we're all sitting in this room together. I thank God for my father and my mother. I thank God for our mayor, my former commissioner. Hated to see you get off the commission, but we have a good commissioner that has taken your place, Commissioner Cheryl Patterson. Thank God for her being on the commission and Rob Stallings, the pillar of the commission. He's a great guy, few of words, but very strong in things that he say, and it's just, he's a man of wisdom, and he's very encouraging. And I just wanted to just say a few things today. Commissioner Janzen, he had brought this to me, and we had many discussions. And like anything that is dear to your heart, there's pressure behind it, because you know you're going to have some resistance. But I'm grateful that on the PACE Board Commission there was no resistance, and I began to talk to my colleagues about it, and no one resisted. They thought it was a great idea, and like I always do, first I go to the mayor. He's the visionary, and he's the leader of the city of Enid, and also Gerald Gilbert. He was all for it. He thought it would be a great idea. So it's something that we can enjoy even after we leave here, generations to come. And a word came to me this morning, recipient. I'm truly a recipient of the struggle. I didn't have to endure the struggle. I didn't have to go through it. But I do see it trying to creep back into our nation this day that we live in. My eyes are open, and I can see the enemy when he comes. It's time that we pray as a nation. Dr. King was a man that prayed. Yes. He prayed and he trusted God, yes, to lead him and guide him. And that's what we need today. When I sat right there and I forgave a former commissioner for his past, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was the Spirit of God. The flesh in me didn't want to do that. But the Spirit of God had taken dominion and power over me. And the Lord worded my mouth and gave me what to say. But you know what? I had to have that same love that Dr. King had. Yes. I've never been thrown in jail. I've never been hit across the head. I've never been stabbed in the chest an inch away from my heart. And he forgave. How much more could I do? Going through something less. I had no choice, because if I claim it, I have to live it. I have to live it. And I want you all to know that as you heard Commissioner Janzen say, all the things that he had to deal with and go through to get to where we are. Even as a commissioner, he hasn't stopped working. I was with him yesterday at Ambucks. You know, even after we get off the commission, we don't stop working. And this last week and a half, I've been working. Actually, I'm tired. I really am. But, you know, I signed up for this. Almost every evening I had an engagement serving the community, the public. You know, there's things that I wanted to do for myself I wasn't able to do. But this is what I signed up for. This is what the mayor signs up for. You don't know how many calls he gets. He gets so many calls, being the mayor of the city of Enid. Thank God for his wife, being patient enough to share him with us. You know, and also, as I close in this, I had an honor and a privilege yesterday to spend time with our base commander, our colonel, our commander of the base, Advanced Air Force Base, Colonel Throckmorton. It was a blessing to spend time with you, sir, and to meet your staff. And while I was out there, I was amazed at all of the black pilots. I didn't say anything to you, but it made me feel good to see those young men and women of color in professional positions, serving our nation and protecting us, so that that dream that's outside that wall can resonate and live within this community. And Mayor, thank you for saying Enid is going to stand for right. And what I did that night was right. My flesh wanted to go wrong, but my spirit was right. I know exactly what Apostle Paul meant when he said, my flesh warred against my spirit. I'm not trying to preach a message, but I'm just trying to help you all to understand that it's real. And the Word of God is real. And the reason why I know it's real, I had a real experience. I had a real experience. And you know what? Those that said they liked me, many of them walked away from me. But after they seen that mural up on the wall, they come back to me. Why? Because it's right. It's right. And people see individuals in positions of leadership. It's not easy. It's tough. It's hard. But you know what? If God called you, might as well answer the call. And I've answered my call. But I want you to know that Dr. King and individuals like my parents, my father, they went through the struggles. And I thank God that I didn't have to go through that. And if I would have had to, I would have. But you know what? I'm a recipient. I'm a recipient. And I believe the way you say thank you is by doing something about it. Not just sitting back looking at it. Get up and do something about it. Be a part of it. Be a part of your community. Get involved in your community. So many times people want their hands out to receive, but it's time to give. And if you start giving back to your community, individuals will give back to you because God sees everything. He sees everything. And I'm asking, as I close, pray for our city government. Pray for our city government. Because this here is powerful. This is something great. Everybody might not like it, but we got to stand up for that which is right. Colonel, thank you so much for giving me that opportunity and that experience to show me the relationship that we have with Vance Air Force Base. There was a time that we couldn't be in the military, but you know what? We're there now. And I want to thank you because you're genuine and you're a great man. I thank God for you. Mayor, you know I love you, man. You know I love you.
When we were talking about this mural and how it was going to come about, Christy and I walked outside and we just walked up to the building and we kind of felt it. It's like, oh, putting paint on this is not going to be a good thing. And we did some research, asked some artists around town. Kelly was one of those that we asked, and they said no, it would actually cause harm to the building eventually. So we had to come up with a different way to make this mural happen. And it wasn't our choice. We talked about it a little bit. We said, you know what, let's put this out in the RFQ and let the artists come up with the solution to affixing a mural to this building. And that's where Tox and Terrall got together and came up with the solution to that problem, and that's what we have today. So again, Tox and Terrall, thank you. I want to bring you guys up and have a chance to say a few words to the group here today.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just gonna say a few words because, you know, speaking in front of a microphone and people, it's not one of my skills, you know. So I just want to say thank you. I feel really, really honored to be part of this project. And at the same time, I feel really happy to be working with Terrall this time because, I don't know, this project was a real challenge for us. It was really hard, and at the same time, it is a project with a special meaning for us. I don't know if you guys know, I just gonna say this, but I was born in California. The hospital where I was born is called Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital. So, you know, Martin Luther King it's been in my life since I was a kid, you know. So his example, he's been with me. So when this RFQ happened, it makes me feel like oh, I gotta be there, you know. So that's why I decided to apply on that, and that's why we were trying to work together with an idea. So I just want to say thank you to PACE, to the mayor. Like I said, I just get nervous all the time. I get on the microphone. But the only thing is that I'm so happy to be part of this project. And thank you, everyone. And I think this is something good for Enid, and I'm glad to be part of it, along with Terrall.
I told Talks I didn't think that I was going to say much, but after listening to the great speeches, every person that spoke said something that struck a chord with me. So I have a little bit to share, if you guys can bear with me. This was an important project for me. When the RFQ went out, I had multiple friends contact me and say, hey, Terrall, you should do this. Primarily throughout the community, I'm known for making signs, but I've been an artist all my life. I've been entering art contests, I think, since first grade. But going back, Adams Elementary, I grew up here in Enid. We had a lady, Ann Bryant, come in and start bringing paintings into the classrooms and kind of introduced art to us. And from that moment on, I didn't put my pencil down. And as time grew on, I started to get better and better. I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. Me and my mother and my sister, we were not well-to-do, if you could say that. She was on welfare. And in sixth grade, this building was dedicated, I think, or the plaque out front was dedicated. I remember taking a trip with our sixth grade class to come out here. And we had big things in the school for Black History Month. They would always tell stories, but Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the people that was predominantly talked about. And just that idea, he's pretty much known for the I have a dream. And when you're a little kid, you don't know, how can we get out of this? We don't have to knock on our neighbors' doors for food anymore. Like, I had a dream that I wouldn't have to struggle, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And throughout my life, I started to get myself into trouble. And in this very courtroom, I was facing this way. I can't tell you how many times I've signed my name for getting in fights or getting speeding tickets. So this project really meant something to me, to have my name on the outside of this building for something so good. It just means a lot to me personally. And then I can't say that I understand anything that the Black community has gone through in the years past, but I did end up in prison. And in prison, one of the things you are divided by is your race. And I'm Choctaw and I'm white. Don't really look Native American, but I had to have a lot of fights in that place over that. I hadn't personally seen hatred anywhere to that degree like I had in prison. And there was a time that I thought I was going to lose my life over picking race. Like, are you white? Are you Native American? Like, which one are you? And I'm like, I'm both. Like, how do you pick? So this whole project to me on multiple levels had so much meaning. And the fact that while I was in prison, I learned how to weld and got my welding certificate. And then I just began to think back, like when Talks entered into this conversation, we have mutual friends, and so they said, hey, Talks is going to put an idea in. Kind of made me want to back off the idea of putting my artwork out there. And then whenever I read through the ideas of how are you going to put this thing on the building without ruining it, I decided that maybe it's something that we could work together with. And I would step back on the artwork and then go forward with my sign knowledge and my welding knowledge. So I was able to take things from my life and put that into this. And so for me, like, it couldn't be like a feather in my hat, so to speak. Like, it's just a great accomplishment to be a part of it. I'm really thankful that we got to do this. And working with Talks, we have other ideas that we're going to move forward with in the future. But this was such a great opportunity, and I'm so grateful that you guys chose us to do this. Let us be a part of it.
Yep.
Before we go outside and take some photos, I just wanted to add one little thing that I've noticed here in the last just couple days. Driving down Garriott, 40 miles an hour, of course, and so we didn't have a chance to stop. But as I was driving east, I noticed there was a student, male, he was black, and he was walking along the sidewalk, and he just stopped and looked at the mural and just paused. He was just looking at it, just observing and drinking it all in. And I think that's what that mural is about. So it was a very cool moment for me to see, and he has no idea that touched someone like it did, but just him walking, had his backpack on, and just to stop and pause and spend some time at the mural. I think that was just, it's something that touched me. So want to thank you all for coming out this morning. Everyone that was involved in this, thank you so much. It's been a great morning, and we have a great piece of artwork on top of our attached to our building out here that speaks volumes about our community. So thank you for being here, and that concludes this. Let's go outside and get some photos taken. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ready?